All right, first thing is we want to avoid buying new cars. Now, Natalie went out and she bought a new car. Awesome for her. Or is it really? New cars typically depreciate rapidly in the first few years of ownership. On average, a new car loses about 20 to 30% of its value in the first year and continues to depreciate going forward. Now, what this means is that your car's value will decrease faster than the rate at which you pay down the loan, which can result in a negative equity, which, to be honest with you, very bad for you, right? Now, used cars are going to be much cheaper than a new car, obviously. They're used. That money that you spend on a new car could be invested elsewhere for higher returns. So what we want to talk to you about is, instead of sinking your money into a depreciating asset like a new car, why don't you invest in appreciating assets like stocks or real estate or a retirement account, where you can yield significant long-term gains and contribute to your wealth accumulation over the years. So opting for a used or a more affordable car is going to allow you to allocate those funds toward other financial goals, just like we just talked about. Now, a new car comes with plenty of perks, but the price tag is really going to match that. It's going to be way more expensive. So we looked at Experian data, and it shows that the average car loan amount for a used vehicle was $27,167 in 2023 compared to $40,184 for a new car. And then if you want to just go luxury to make yourself look better and, beat the Joneses, you're going to likely pay way more than average price for a new car. Now, I buy used cars, and this strategy has really done well for me financially over the years. So I bought a used Honda Pilot, had about 79,000 miles on it, and I bought it for $15,000. Now, we also bought my wife's car, Honda CR-V, for $14,000, and it only had 60,000 miles on it. I will say that this was about 9 years ago that we bought these, but we're still driving them. Okay, they still operate well for us, and they have treated us great. Now, I have no loan payments. Yes, I do have to spend more on repairs, but according to AAA, car maintenance costs roughly $800 a year, or about $66 a month. That is far less than your average car payment. Because if you look at the average car payment, like in December 2023, we looked at the averages, and the average monthly car payment is $726 in the United States and $533 a month for used vehicles. Now, I'll be honest with you, unless you're super rich, new cars are a big waste of money. My opinion is you need to buy used. Now, the next thing is a bit of a controversy. People will go back and forth on this, but what we're saying is, when you're younger, don't buy a personal home. Like, just don't go buy a home for you and by yourself, or for you and a spouse. What you can do is what I did. So if I was you, I would buy a multi-unit property to generate rental income from tenants occupying the additional units. This additional income stream can help offset the mortgage payments, all the property taxes, the maintenance costs, and other expenses associated with that property ownership. Now, as tenants pay rent, you should be able to cover most of your expenses, right? So that the money that you get, you shouldn't have to use any of it for, rent or utilities. You'll also be building equity in the property. So over time, your equity stake increases as you pay down the mortgage and the property appreciates. So over time, your equity stake increases as you pay down the mortgage and the property appreciates. So this equity will serve as a valuable asset and contribute to your overall net worth in gaining wealth. Owning rental property also comes with various tax advantages, including like deductions for your mortgage interest, property taxes, maintenance expenses, depreciation, and more. All of these I take on all my rental properties. These tax benefits can help you reduce your taxable income and increase your cash flow, allowing you to reinvest into additional properties or other investment vehicles if you want to, like stocks. By leveraging the income generation potential, equity building opportunities, and tax advantages of those multi-unit properties, individuals can optimize their investments and then accelerate their journey to becoming a millionaire. I did this on my first home. I found a house. It was like an up-and-coming area, and I asked my parents, hey, can you invest with me and we can buy this home? Now, it was a 3-bedroom home, so I bought it and was able to get 2 of my other college friends to rent the other 2 rooms with me, and I rented the 3rd room. Super cheap. Living with those 2 friends was great, and it was a great first-time investment property for me. And this is what you should do too. You should do the same thing I just did. You can buy a single property, have people rent with you that you know as friends, or you can buy multi-units. Now, the third thing you don't want to buy is you don't want to go out and buy the most expensive and newest gadgets. And I know you're like, that's something you love to do. You love to get the most up-to-date tech, but it is just wasting your money. So if you opt for the previous versions of gadgets like phones and iPads instead of the latest and most expensive models, you can definitely save a ton of money. The older phone will be able to do whatever you need it to do. Maybe the, camera's not as great or whatever, but it still does what you need. It'll call, text, and you can surf and do whatever you want. I know newer versions of phones have different gadgets and upgraded this and upgraded that, but with that comes a premium price tag with all those advanced features, right? By choosing the previous versions of phones or different, tech, you can take advantage of significant price reductions as retailers and sellers try to, get rid of those models, those older models, so they discount them and they're cheaper than when they were new. And let's be honest, in really a lot of cases, the difference between the latest and previous versions of the gadgets that you're buying are incremental and will not significantly impact your everyday usage of your phone, iPad, or whatever tech you're using. So we're just going to recommend go with a later version and get it more discounted. All right, the next thing you want to try to avoid is making impulse purchases and buying items you just don't really need, or even sale items that you think you're getting such a great deal and you're really not, right? So you can redirect your funds towards more meaningful investments that contribute to your long-term financial goals by cutting out these impulse purchases and just not buying the items you don't need. Here's a list of items to think twice about before you buy. Novelty gifts, all right? Single-use kitchen gadgets, any kind of trendy fashion accessories, excessive home decor, any kind of those subscription boxes you want to avoid, event-specific clothing, any kind of fast fashion pieces, any kind of disposable household items, and those impulse buys, at checkout that we talk about, gadgets with limited use, unused exercise equipment. So, going to buy exercise equipment you're never going to use, which is half the population. You don't need to buy a bunch of excessive beauty products. You don't need the brand new textbooks. You can go buy used textbooks. Frequent dining out, so eating out all the time. Premium cable or streaming services. Impulsive home decor items. Any kind of trendy hobby supplies or designer clothes and accessories. So that's the list. Try to, when you're going out and buying things, just try not to impulsively buy. Think about it. Maybe even just leave it, walk away. And if later on you want to come back and buy it after you've thought about it, okay. But those are the things you really need to think about before buying. Okay, now on this last one, we just talked about eating out. That was one of the on the list. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more. You need to quit eating out all the time or ordering for, Uber Eats and all that other stuff where you have them deliver it to you. So just to show you, here are the numbers for you on how much it's costing you to eat out. So the average price per serving of a home-cooked meal is $4.31, while the average cost of eating out is going to run around $20.30. Now you need to stop eating out and instead you need to cook meals at home. This is going to save you a ton of money. So you're also going to have to consider that dining out will often include additional expenses that you're not thinking about, such as service charges and tips, right? And you get taxed on your meal eating at a restaurant. Now, home cooked meals give you greater control over your ingredients, your portion size. This allows you to make healthier choices and to prioritize nutrition. So cooking at home is great. You can develop and refine your culinary skills over time, become a better chef. That's what I've done. I've gotten really good at cooking. Now, we touched on this earlier. A lot of people are using the food delivery services, right? And you need to stop using them. It's just so expensive. Instead, like we say, you really need to cook a meal at home. Now, so if you really hate cooking, then you need to try a meal service, right? CNET broke down the top meal kits and eating out. So they kind of split it out. And we're going to show you those charts here on eating out and buying meal plans. So here's the cost versus takeout versus a meal plan kit, right? Cheapest plan. So we tried to, with CNET, we got the cheapest plan. So if you look at the service cost per servings for, look at Every Plate and Dinnerly, Blue Apron, HelloFresh, Home Chef, all these different ones, Green Chef. And then you see here at the bottom, you'll see the delivery, right? $21.80. So you can see the cost is cheaper even for this service than going out. Now, the other one we looked at was the cost of takeout versus a prepared meal delivery service. So a little bit different, right? And if you look at that, you can look at like Mosaic Foods, Daily Harvest, all these different ones. It's around $6 to $15 for those. And then delivery is, like we said, $21.80. So way more expensive for the delivery service and going out to eat and eating out instead of even doing meal plans. So doing this will save you money, and you can use that money for investments. And that's the whole key here, right? Is how much money can you save and not go and spend on frivolous stuff that you don't need, so that you can use that money to invest and make more money for you as you age. All right, everybody, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button for us for more videos on wealth building and making money, and let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and we're going to see you next time.